In Japan's feudal heartland, in a whirlwind of warfare and rivalry, the legendary figure of Miyamoto Musashi arose, a wandering samurai, swordmaster, and brilliant strategist. His real story merges with the legends that have arisen due to his extraordinary feats. His epic duels, his incessant quest for technical perfection, and his untamed spirit have inspired admiration and fascination for centuries. The lone samurai, Musashi, who followed the path of the sword and became a Japanese cultural icon. But who was the man behind the myth? A ruthless duelist pursuing glory through the death of his opponents? Or a martial artist and philosopher whose sword was the path to enlightenment and harmony? The year was 1584. Japan was experiencing a stormy period, with feudal lords vying for power and land. Against this setting, in the quiet village of Miyamoto, a boy destined for greatness was born. His name was Benosuke, but the baby's arrival was marred by tragedy. His mother, Omasa, collapsed from childbirth complications, leaving the newborn motherless in his early days. The premature loss of his mother deeply impacted Benosuke's childhood. Raised by his father, the swordmaster Miyamoto Musashi, and monk uncle, the young man grew up under the shadow of tragedy, developing an independent spirit and a deep attachment to loneliness. Through adversity, the young man built up an unwavering inner strength and determination, traits that would propel him on his journey as a samurai and turn him into the legend we know as Miyamoto Musashi. Robbed of his mother's affection, Benosuke found in his father, Miyamoto Musashi, a ruthless master. A skilled samurai, well known for his masterful swordsmanship and jite, Musashi devoted himself to instructing his son in the ways of the warrior. Benosuke exhibited a natural ability for combat from an early age and quickly grasped the techniques taught to him by his father. The jite, an iron weapon with a hook, was to become Musashi's specialty, and the young man learned to use it skillfully, evolving a unique fighting style that combined strength and precision. But Benosuke's education was not confined to the sword. His uncle, the Buddhist monk Dorin, relentlessly tried to inspire in him values of compassion, mental discipline, and the search for self-knowledge. But Benosuke was a rebel boy. The father-son relationship was a mixture of admiration and rebellion. Hungry for more knowledge and acknowledgement, Benosuke questioned Musashi's teachings, seeking to go further than tradition and shape his own fighting style. Musashi was a traditionalist and considered his son's boldness an outrage. Arguments between the two grew increasingly frequent, and these brawls were exacerbated by Musashi's heavy drinking. This led to a heartbreaking estrangement between father and son. Benosuke, feeling misunderstood and yearning to prove himself, decided to leave home and make his own way. He adopted a new name, a symbol of his independence and his resolve to become a samurai recognized for his own abilities. Takezo, the new name chosen by Benosuke, signified a fresh start, a break with the past, and the search for a glorious future. Freed from the bonds of tradition, the young warrior was prepared to face the world's challenges, brandishing his weapon and unwavering determination. Takezo started living in the woods like a beast. He was aggressive, and when he encountered other young men on his path, their meetings almost always ended in conflict. Spurred on by a burning desire to establish his superiority, Takezo flung himself into fights, testing his skills and learning from each engagement. He was strong and brave, and with each victory, his confidence grew, boosting his ego and ambition to become a swordsman. At 13, the flame of ambition was already blazing in Takezo's heart. The news that Arima Kihei, a celebrated samurai and adept at the traditional Shinto Ryo school, was challenging anyone who dared to take him on. He was traveling around Japan, defying other swordsmen to test and display their skills. Kihei accepted duels as a way of increasing his own fame and testing his combat techniques. Aware of his son's inexperience, Musashi banned him from taking part in the duel, but Takezo, blindsided by his youthful temerity, disobeyed his father and inscribed his name on the billboard in defiance of his father's authority. News of the challenge quickly spread. Takezo's courage in facing unexperienced samurai like Arima Kihei sparked astonishment and disbelief. When Arima Kihei learned that it was a 13-year-old boy who had accepted the challenge, he approached the boy's monk uncle. He told him that, at the appointed time, Takezo would have to show up and apologize before everyone for his childish antics. The monk said he would talk to the boy, but warned the warrior that he was not a normal kid. His spirit was like that of the forest beasts, and it was rumored that he trained his skills with the mountain Tengu. When the time came, the square was crowded with onlookers, eager to witness the unequal confrontation. In his imposing black robes, Arima Kihei entered the combat arena, wielding his katana. Takezo, clad in simple clothing and carrying a wooden bokken, looked fragile and unprepared against the veteran samurai. It looked like David versus Goliath. Takezo was not there to apologize, but to fight. The duel commenced. With powerful thrusts, Arima Kihei attacked mercilessly, hoping to end the fight quickly, because he could not risk being humiliated by a young boy. Agile and intuitive, Takezo deftly dodged the blows, using his youth and speed as weapons. The young man then showed surprising determination and ferocity. Musashi attacked Kihei with all his strength and speed, surprising his opponent. Not having expected such an aggressive offensive from a boy, Kihei was rapidly overpowered and put on the defensive. Musashi disarmed him and, with a powerful blow, seriously wounded Kihei in the head. The duel resulted in Arima Kihei's death from head trauma, marking Musashi's first victory in Mortal Kombat. Takezo's triumph further inflated the young man's wild ego, which would later become known as Musashi. This duel made a profound impact on Musashi's life. The victory over a trained and experienced swordsman not only cemented his confidence in his abilities, but also set him on the path to becoming a legend. However, while Takezo was starting to prove his prowess as a swordsman, he still had the spirit of a forest demon. However, if he could not tame his inner beast, he would never achieve the greatness he sought.